You know what? The NBA right now is going hard on my man Kyrie Irving about his anti-Semitic, I use that quotations, comments that he made on the social media page. And it looks like his career may be actually over and he'll probably never play basketball again because of all the stuff that's happening to him, which is crazy. However, Kyrie, if you get my message, your playing days aren't over. You're more than welcome to play for my rec team in Rancho Cucamonga. We will dominate, and I will get you a championship. I promise that. This is Epic Thought. Yes, sir. You can come to the Rancho Tornadoes. We're accepting applications. Welcome to Epic Thoughts. I'm your host, Ron Merchant. With me today, my good friend, Charlie Battaglia.
We're back, man. How you doing, Ro?
I'm doing great,
good
man.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, too.
It's good to be back on Epic Thoughts.
Yes. Listen, man, we're friends now.
We're friends, man.
We
go way back, dude.
We do.
Yeah. Well, how long has it been?
I think it's been like maybe 3 years.
It's been about 3 years. That's a good number, man.
Maybe 4.
I think it's
been 4.
Let's see. I auditioned for you in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 years ago.
4 years.
4 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Man.
Wow, look at us.
Look at us.
Wow. We're killing it. Not me. But here we are, man. Getting epic together.
I knew if Charlie's become a good friend of mine. I will say that. I appreciate your friendship, man.
I appreciate yours.
It's been you're a breath of fresh air,
bro. Oh, hey, thanks, dude.
Yeah. Just a little bit of age difference, but I love it.
Dude, it doesn't even feel like it though, man.
It does.
You're young at heart and I'm an old soul. So we meet there in the middle, you know?
Yes.
Which is perfect. Yeah.
You are, but you're hilarious, man.
Thanks, dude.
And,
I try.
I feel comfortable around Charlie. So for all the people watching us right now, thanks for joining us today on YouTube and Facebook who are watching us live. It's hot in here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little warm. I'm pretty warm, but I feel cool.
You look cool.
Thanks, man. That's why, sometimes you got to choose style over comfort.
You do.
And I knew I was going to be on Epic Thoughts tonight. So I was like, I got to look good, I got to look good for Ro and I got to look good for America.
He's so fresh right
now. So this is what I'm wearing.
I really like the fit. And
hey,
I wish we could do a wide so you guys could see his fit.
I could maybe stand up a little bit. Maybe that would help. I don't know if they'd be able to.
The jeans add to it.
Jeans do add to it a little bit.
Oh, you have to lift your shirt up a little bit. There you go. Oh,
look at those holes.
That's nice.
I paid extra for those.
And then show the necklace.
Oh,
the necklace.
Jesus first, man.
You
gotta love Jesus. And I'm also wearing this hat.
Yes,
because I voted today.
Because you voted today.
And a lot of people think it's like a radical hat because it's aligned with an American flag. And for some reason, maybe that's radical. I don't know. But if you look closely, it just says San Diego Zoo.
That's what it says.
So really, I just like lions, man.
Yeah.
And I like America. So there you go.
Yeah,
dude.
It's an interesting day. I haven't seen any results.
Good results coming in.
Really?
I mean, if you like a red wave, I mean, so far so good in terms of that. Okay. I know that a few of the governors won their races. I know Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee won. She's the first female governor in Arkansas. Wow. So congratulations, Sarah. Ron DeSantis, he won his reelection.
Oh, did he win?
Yeah, of course he did. They love him out there in Florida. So that's going pretty well. And then from what I'm seeing so far, it looks like the House has flipped quite a few seats so far from blue to red. And the Senate is also looking pretty positive.
Wow.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty happy right now.
It's a pendulum swing.
It is.
It is. It just normally goes like that. But we haven't gotten any numbers from California yet.
No numbers from California because the polls don't close for like another half hour.
Oh yeah.
But I voted, man. I voted today, live and in person, and that was fun. I always like voting. My whole family goes out. We make it a family affair. And, I live in, a pretty small town. So it's not like the lines are very long. No. I mean, we show up and go right in there and vote and get out of there and, get our little stickers. And I was supposed to wear my sticker, but dude, it came off in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it, man. But it's okay.
I dropped mine off at the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. This morning I dropped it off.
Yeah.
I had to get my votes in.
Right. You know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is I live in San Bernardino County.
And that's probably gets really busy, huh?
It wasn't busy at all. I popped up, put my thing in the box. But the thing is, some of the most in California, some of the bigger issues weren't on our ballot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like what?
Like the only issues that we had on the ballot were like the propositions.
Right.
But like I'm watching the news and they're talking about Katie Porter and Karen Bass, We did. We
Well, that's not your district.
Yeah, so we have no call on that.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have a call on that either.
But don't you have on Porter?
No, we don't have Porter.
I thought she was from Orange County.
No, I think she's from Orange County, but for some reason she wasn't on our ballot either. I know young Kim was like the one who's running for U.S. representative for the Republicans, and then she was running against some other Democrat. But young Kim got my vote, dude.
I don't think I had a dog in the battle on there. I just wanted to see how it was going to turn out.
You got to just use your voice. That's what it's all about. Even if you don't like, that's why I like anybody who goes out and votes, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, just go use your voice, get it out there and vote, because we have that right as Americans. And if you don't vote and you complain over the next couple of years, you really don't have no right to complain, because you didn't go out there and put your vote in. You didn't go out there and make that difference that you can make. So if you did vote, dude, you have all the right to complain if your side doesn't come through and if you don't like the way things are going for the next couple of years. But that's the point of voting. You got to get in there and you got to show people what you believe in, and then hopefully it makes a difference.
I was really excited though on the San Bernardino County ballot. They had Measure EE, and I was really pumped that it was on there. It's step one to succession of California. San Bernardino County. I thought that was pretty cool to even think about it.
Right. What do you think about that? Would you want San Bernardino to secede?
It has to change.
Would it secede and become its own state?
Yes, it'd be the 51st state.
Did you vote yes for that?
Yeah, I did.
Imagine if that won. That would be hilarious. Crazy. Dude.
Like, I know it's such a.
It can't win though, right? Because it needs the votes of the whole state, not just the county.
So this state was just. This vote was just. Should we look into it and put resources into moving forward with this?
Right. So would it go from the county then to a state ballot?
Yes.
So it could easily do that.
Yes.
If everybody walked in and voted that way.
If we voted that way, it could easily go that way.
That's crazy.
But there's no way.
Yeah, man.
There's no way. Well, and it makes sense. San Bernardino County is larger than 12 states.
Right.
And by area.
Right.
And it's larger than 11 states by population.
Oh, wow.
So it is big enough to be a state.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, maybe it will be, man. San Bernardino, 51st state, dude.
But it can't be called that.
It should be, man. If it wins, it deserves to be, man.
If it keeps the name, I'm moving to Orange County.
You don't like the name San Bernardino?
Not for a state.
Oh, okay.
And there's so much stipulation to San Bernardino. We already have a bad name.
I remember last time we talked here, Roman, you talked about how you weren't optimistic for America's future.
Yeah.
But after tonight, I mean, things are looking pretty good right now. It looks like the tides are turning, you know, and whether it's red or blue, maybe you don't care about that. Maybe you're beyond that. You know, maybe you think it doesn't matter. So what? Maybe we'll have a red tsunami. Things still aren't going to change.
Yeah.
Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I just don't see it happening from that position. I don't see it from a political stance making any kind of change.
Where do you see it from? The church? The spiritual standpoint?
Yes, the church, but as the body.
Okay.
Not the local.
Right.
So
what's the difference between the body and the local church?
I think when it comes to the localized church, it's something that we definitely need.
Yeah.
Right. I believe that there's so many goofy teachings going on right now that there won't be there's just not enough there to make a change happen.
Okay.
So I think what's going to have to happen is things like you're going to have to like American cheese,
right?
Heritage Park. So things that were birthed out of the church, out of the local church.
Right.
I think those things, could come into play.
I agree.
So I think those were things that will spark change. Right. I think if the body was able to produce different options for the world to pay attention to, aside from what we already see.
Okay.
Right. So like, for example, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm actually a libertarian.
Right.
But I kind of lean right.
Right.
On a lot of social issues.
For sure.
And then on like money issues. It depends on what it is.
Right. It gets deep, man. I don't think anybody could really identify as one or the other because we're all different. You know, everybody is on different pages. You know, whether you like it or not. Yeah.
But as long as we still have this two-party system that kind of bullies everybody around, it bothers me, and I don't see any coming back from that because, like I said, it's great. I'm all for if the president is Democrat, we need a Republican House.
Right.
Well,
that's what Elon Musk tweeted today. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but
he went out and said, and he got a lot of flack for it, but he said basically, I think everybody, if you truly want true democracy in your country, since we have a Democratic president, the best and most logical thing to do would be to vote for a Republican House. Yeah.
But we're built. That's what it's built for. Yeah. That's why our country's democracy is built like this.
Right. And I like that. I think that's cool. That. Yeah.
But when you're
that's
talking,
the way it really should be.
Yeah. But when you're talking about change, I think that there's gotta be, we have to give people another option. So like, I'm not into cancel culture or anything like that.
No.
I am into what's the word I'm looking for? Free enterprise.
Okay. What is that?
So like, the Democrats did this in 2008, right? When we had a bad market and inflation was bad.
Yeah.
They were bailing out companies.
Okay.
So like, let's say Ford. Okay. Ford was going through some issues. They couldn't pay payroll. So the government is giving Ford money to keep their doors open. And in a free enterprise, it's like, if Ford can't keep their doors open, Ford needs to go away.
Okay.
I'm all for it. I was like, let's put Taco Bell and Del Taco on the same corner in the city,
right?
And see who wins.
Yeah.
Let the strong survive.
Right.
So I'm all for, let's put a gas station at the same. Like, I don't understand why. It's because we have a government policy in place, but I don't understand what stops me from saying I'm going to open up a gas station on the corner where there's Mobil on the left, Exxon on the right, and Arco counter corner, and I'm going to undercut their gas prices.
Right.
So I can get everybody to come get gas from me, which will ultimately force them, if they want to stay alive, they got to cut their prices.
Yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
And then that changes everything across the board.
Right. So it's not really cancel culture, but it's like every man for himself.
Every man for himself.
Yeah. It's totally different than cancel culture.
Yeah.
To me, when you say cancel culture, I think like, getting on people because of what they believe.
Well, that's the other side of it. So then, like, for example, this thing right now, I don't know if you follow sports too much, but this guy, Kyrie Irving, he made a stupid decision. It was a stupid decision. He advertised a film on his social media that he hadn't watched.
Yeah, about the black Jews.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, it's a hot button topic in the African American culture.
Yeah.
And I've read into it. I've looked into it. There is weight.
Right.
There is water.
So there's truth to what he was sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
But why do you think it was a dumb decision? Because of the fact that he knew he was going to cause trouble by doing it?
I don't think he knew that. I just think he doesn't know. In the film, they're making some anti-Semitic. Semitic, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Anti-Semitic. They're making some anti-Semitic statements.
Right.
So they're saying that Jews aren't the real Jews.
Okay.
That blacks are the real Jews.
Right. I heard about that. That's wild. I don't really know about it though. So
so they're making statements like that. Kyrie really didn't know because he didn't watch the film.
Oh.
So if he had watched the film, would he have made the same choice? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Right. So
he was forced to apologize after he got dropped from all of his.
Now they suspended him from playing basketball.
Okay.
Forced him to make an apology. He makes the apology.
Right.
He makes a statement like, listen, I believe that I might be one of these tribes that they talk about.
Okay.
I might be Jewish, so I can't be anti-Semitic.
All right.
Because I might be Jewish myself.
Okay.
And so that's his stance.
That's a really funny stance, to be honest, though.
Yeah.
Because he's not saying that because he really thinks he's Jewish. He's saying that because
he really does.
Do you really think that he thinks that? Or do you think he's just
yes.
trying to get out of the situation?
No, he really thinks he is.
Oh, dang.
He's got some really weird, goofy.
Really?
Yeah, he's got some goofy views.
So then what do you think about Kanye? What do you think about all the things going on with Kanye?
I think the responses happening to Kyrie proves Kanye right. Because now they sit him down. He can't play basketball for 5 games.
Right.
Originally. Now they said they won't reinstate him until he goes through sensitive training. He meets with
the Jewish leaders in New York. Which that in and of itself is sketchy, is it not?
Yes.
Like, hey, not only do you need to apologize, but you need to go meet with all of the Jewish leaders. And they need to tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
And isn't that wild, though?
It's wild. And then he has to donate $500,000 to them. And then on top of that, he has to go on his social media account and publicly, basically in a nutshell, crap on the film.
So basically, he's being told what to do after sharing what he believes to be his own personal beliefs.
Yes.
Right. So the whole system is ganging up on him
Yeah.
for expressing an opinion.
Yes.
Basically. Right.
Basically.
And they're telling us that there's not a global elite out there.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what
literally the elite is telling him what to do in order to get his career back.
Yeah.
Yet they're telling us, wait a minute, there isn't a global elite. That's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And if you even bring that up, you're a Nazi.
And so Kanye makes some statements
right
beforehand.
Yeah.
They're like, no, cancel Kanye.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie, he is like, you're seeing it play out right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Kyrie is proving Kanye right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
And, you know, Kyrie is not trying to, but it's just the situation that he's in. And did you see the text message Kanye on his post, on his Instagram page? He posted a text message between him and his trainer.
Okay.
And his trainer basically was bullying him in a text message saying, listen, if you don't stop saying this stuff about Jews and this and that, we're going to put you back in the hospital and I'm going to put you back on the drugs like you didn't want to be. And it was just it was like dead right in our face.
What really is it exactly that he said, Kanye specifically, about the Jewish people? Did he say that there's like people in Hollywood that are Jewish that run things?
Yes, that they run everything. And they run everything and they're iron fisted and they don't care about anything.
But here's the thing. Isn't that like a thing like we've kind of known for a while that like most successful people are Jewish too?
Yeah. But see, but here's the thing. I think Americans are in this place where we are, not we, because I don't feel like I'm part of that, but people are in a place where they feel like they have a fighting chance.
Right.
You know, I don't think I have a fighting chance in Hollywood.
Okay.
So American Cheese and Heritage Park is it for me.
Right.
We're going to have to make it there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't want to.
But isn't that a good thing?
It's a great thing for me.
I mean, why would you want to be involved in something we know to be such a cesspool?
Because I don't think people have the identity to combat it.
Mm.
Like they don't believe in themselves or they don't believe in what God tells them.
Right.
Like they play small. So like, for example, for me today, I had this aha moment at like 4 a.m. Charlie.
Okay. Let me hear it.
I'm in bed. And I'm getting up and I'm dragging my feet and God, I'm praying. I'm asking God for like this and that and wisdom, yada, 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 same old. And I hear God. But this morning I heard him say, what else do you need?
Right.
I've given you everything.
Yeah.
What else do you need? You have technology, you have wisdom, you have energy, you have your youth.
You have a place.
You have a place.
You have a studio.
Have the equipment.
You have a show.
You
really have everything you've ever dreamed of.
Yes.
But it's on your own. But we get upset because we're like, why isn't this blowing up? Why aren't people giving it attention?
Yeah.
You know, and I think it all comes in God's timing. Like you said before, I'm on the same page as you. I don't think it's the politicians. I don't think it's the government. I don't think it's the president that's going to bring this country back. I think it's the people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be the people doing what God has called them to do, using their gifts that God placed in their heart and doing it for his glory. And it all starts in the local church, in the body. Mm-hmm. It's all us, you know, getting out there. And that's what's going to not only bring the country back, but it's going to bring the world back to God, in my opinion, if it's done right.
If it's done right.
And that's where my optimism comes in. Now, I know you're not as optimistic as me, but you sound optimistic when you say these things because you're saying that, and that's why you're doing Heritage Park. That's why I'm doing American Cheese, you know, because we're not just making videos that just for the hell of it, you know, we're making this content that has a message that's fun for people to watch, that's a breath of fresh air, that's not like what you're seeing in Hollywood land, you know, and we're putting that out into the world and it's getting in front of the eyes of people for really a greater purpose, you know, and it's only just getting started. I mean, how long has Heritage Park been a thing? Really
a thing. Mm-hmm. I would say since 2018 is when I really was like,
you're a baby.
Yeah.
You're a baby. You're 4 years old.
Yeah.
American Cheese, we didn't even start a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's all about consistency but you still have to keep God in the center of that dream.
Yeah.
You know,
and
because
you still have to keep feeding the dream.
You do. Exactly. You have to keep doing it.
Yeah. So
you can't give up or get weary.
Yeah.
You know, don't grow weary in doing good because at the proper time, you'll reap a harvest if you don't give up.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
And I think it's going to be harvest time.
The other side of it is, to add to what you're saying, is because everyone has such a different call, right? The different call is people, if you're not confident in your relationship with God,
right,
people will talk you out of your call.
Yeah.
And that's why the localized church is where I'm freaked out at, because I finally feel like in my life I'm in a place where I'm in God's perfect will. Not to say I wasn't before, when I was pastoring all these churches, and that was the goal, just to be a bigger pastor and pastor more people, and more people.
Right.
But I was never really fulfilled.
Okay.
And now I feel I'm like, wow, I can still do God's ministry.
Right. Outside of a building.
Right. Because in my head, I thought that was the only way I can do it.
So you would say Heritage Park is a ministry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
Yeah.
I also believe, though, and this is coming from somebody who was raised in the local church and somebody whose dad is a pastor, of course, and somebody who's a pastor himself. I think I'll always really truly believe that it's important to have a place to go to connect with like-minded people.
Yes.
And I believe if you're in the right church, that's the place to be.
That's
because you're always connecting with people. You're always in a positive mindset. I mean, the church I go to, we have Bible studies every single day except for Saturday. We're there every day, and we have Sunday services. And I'm so thankful for that, because I think if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be so optimistic, and I wouldn't be feeling so happy all the time. Because I always know that if I'm not busy, I'll always have a place to go where I could hear the word and be around people who are of the same faith, who are of the same mind, and I think it's healthy to be around those people.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that inspires you, influences you, and motivates you to continue your calling. It's like you always got to be around your supporters. That's the one thing I like about Trump a lot, because he's always around people who love him. And I'm not saying like, Trump's the best ever, but like I do enjoy him, and I find him entertaining most of the time. And so whenever he's like, he does all these rallies, right? And he's constantly around people who love him, because there's a lot of people who hate him, but I don't think he knows that, because he's always constantly surrounding himself with people who love him. I mean, he lives at Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah.
This is like where he resides, but he lets his supporters also be a member at his own house.
Yeah.
So he wakes up in the morning, walks down the stairs. There's people cheering for him right away.
Yeah.
There's always something that my dad told me. He said, always go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated, because it keeps you in a positive mindset. It keeps you happy, and it keeps you inspired, and it continues to give you the confidence to pursue what God is calling you to do. And I really believe, and that's why I really personally like being in the local church as often as I can, because I'm surrounded with those people who lift you. You're surrounded by people who lift you up constantly. And I think that's an important thing, because in a world that's so evil, in a world that's so they want to get you, especially if you're doing well. You have to remind yourself that there's people around you who do support you. And I think it's also important to spend time with family too, because especially if your family's supportive, you got to be around them, because they're going to lift you up in hard times. And if you're doing what God calls you to do, you're going to get a lot of hate for it. Right. I mean, what does Jesus say? We live in this world. We're not of the world, but a lot of people in the world are going to hate you. And I think in order to combat that hate, you have to do it with love, and you have to surround yourself with people who love you. And there's people out there who do love you. And I think that's why it's important to stay connected to those people. And I think the church is the perfect place to do that.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it has its flaws too.
It does.
Like you said, there's you got to be very careful where you're rooted, because you could be rooted in a church that's not for you. And you got to be careful.
Weird stuff sometimes.
Weird teachings.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere. You don't want to go to the church right next to your house. I'll tell you that. Sometimes a lot of people just compensate for that. There's a church that I grew up next to. I actually voted there today because it's a voting center. And the church is progressive Christianity, so a lot of the teachings aren't biblical based. They take the Bible and kind of relate it to what they want it to be, a lot of it. and that church has been that way ever since I grew up. You know, like the coexist kind of thing. And a lot of people go to that church not because they believe in what they're teaching, but because they live so close to it. That church is popping, right? Because it's right by a neighborhood. It's easy to get up and go, and then you could tell people you go to church, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the way to look for a church, I don't think. I think looking for a church is like looking for a school to put your kids in. You know, it's going to make a big difference in your life and your family's life. So you have to find the right one. Because like you said, there's a lot of crazy things going on out there.
So I got some friends that are looking for churches. They're consistently looking. So what would you look for if you were looking for a church? You didn't have your church because your church is great.
Right. Thank you.
But
I think it is, but maybe it's not for everybody.
Right.
You know, I don't think everybody, and it's not. I think people who show up there either love it or they run, you know.
Why do they run?
I think that my dad is a very I would say he's pretty controversial when he preaches. You know, he's very like what you would call fire and brimstone kind of teaching, which I really like because first of all, I grew up on it, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. There's a lot of pastors these days who are very they're scared to touch on topics that people are going through today, like homosexuality, like you know, trans people and stuff like that, and it's so many things that like are making this world so crazy. You know, pastors are afraid to touch on that because they're such controversial subjects. Even alcoholism, or even there's pastors who are afraid to say you can't have sex before marriage. You know, sexual immorality is wrong. I mean, there's pastors who don't want to say that because they're big pastors and they don't want to lose money and they don't want to lose their church. My dad doesn't do that. He doesn't beat around that bush. I mean, there's not a service that goes by where he doesn't talk about homosexuality, where he doesn't talk about sexual immorality, where he doesn't talk about alcohol, where he doesn't talk about these things that we all know to be sins, but all the other pastors are too afraid to talk about it. My dad is the guy who talks about it.
Nice.
And it's wild because there's people who show up and they don't expect that. But there's people who show up and they don't expect it, but they really enjoy it because they know that a lot of it stems from the Bible, you know. But so many pastors these days aren't even preaching out of the Bible. You know, they're preaching what they think people's itching ears want to hear, and most of the time it's not the truth.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're looking for a church, the church you go to, you don't want to leave church feeling all good and happy and giddy inside. I would say you kind of want to leave church feeling a little bit like maybe you have to change, because we all do. You know, we go through things every day in life that are struggles. And that we're like with sin, like we struggle with sin. We're human beings, right? So if you're going to church and you're not feeling a little bit like maybe you got to change something about your life, right? Because none of us are perfect. Or you're leaving church and you're not doing any thinking, right? How could I make this situation better?
Yeah. I
would say maybe you might be in the wrong church. You know, you got to find some place that's going to lift you up, that's going to make you know that God loves you, but that's also going to help you really change your life. That's what I would say. You got to find that church. And it's not going to be pretty, you know, and it's not going to feel good all the time, you know, but love, I mean, what does love do? What does 1 Corinthians 13 say? Love rejoices in the truth, right? Love isn't all rainbows and roses, right? It's hearing the truth and taking that truth and doing something about it so you could really make your life better here on earth while you're here, and discover what your true calling is for God. Because that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
It's not about living the best life here on earth. Yeah, you could have that, but it's about what's it going to be like? How am I going to get that eternal reward? You know?
Yeah. I think what people are lacking right now is just a true experience with God.
Yeah.
My friend, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't mind me telling the story because I did his IG reel about it. So
go for it.
He had an issue with his balls.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, issue with his balls. And he was at a men's retreat, a men's camping thing.
Yeah. And
the men were like, dude, let's pray for your balls.
Yeah.
And they made him hold his own balls.
Right. That's smart.
Yeah. We'll come back to it because I have a funny story about balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he put his hands on his balls and then Aaron put, and it was funny because at the men's retreat, they said that, some of the guys had a cigar in one hand and they were lifting the other hand. And like God literally moved.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like the guy became healed, literally healed.
I believe that.
They prayed for an hour, and they said the guy who was leading it was like this rugged man who lived in Wyoming. Yeah, he was in Wyoming.
I love Wyoming.
He was rugged, like he had cigars, and he was cussing like, devil, get off his balls. and he was healed.
Devil, get off his balls. I love that.
And when he told me the story, I was dying because I wish I had been there. I was like, I would love that. I would love to see somebody be like, devil, go off his balls.
But it worked.
Yeah, and he
man.
was healed. And I'm like, dude, I
Amen.
think God is like wants to do some real things.
Yeah.
And we need to just be real people, real children of God.
We really do, man.
And I think that there's such a fakeness.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
That there's some people who don't come to church real.
Yeah.
We put on our best clothes, we put on our best outfits,
right.
Put on our makeup,
mm-hmm.
best hair.
Yeah.
And we're trying to hide behind, like you said, if you come in feeling good, did you go to church?
Right.
Or did we come real, waiting to change,
to do something about it, to improve our life? If you're going to church and your life is getting worse, that's not really, you're probably in the wrong church.
Yes.
You got to do something about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to it, know, and I love my church because we have this, we have like an outreach where people come and do their community service hours. So we're actually in like the court system. So if somebody gets in trouble for doing something, like they get a DUI or they steal something or they get something where they're served community service hours, they could get them done at our church. So we are constantly getting people who aren't perfect. Nobody is.
Yeah.
And there's these people that come in and sometimes they're Christian, sometimes they're not, and whatever. But so many of them find Jesus by stepping through those doors. I mean, it's the best like outreach we've ever done, is like getting people to do their community service hours at our church, because man, the amount of people that find Jesus through it is just, it's so cool. And you meet so many cool different people too.
I wanted Hope
to
get part of that.
You should.
For the Riverside County.
Okay. That would be awesome. Maybe I could look into it for you, man.
Please do.
And then, cause you're going to get you'll get so much help, dude.
Yeah.
And they help with everything, man.
Yeah.
I have some of them helping on my movie this weekend.
So
that
would help Heritage Park.
That's what I'm saying, man. And they have fun doing it too. And you really discover that these people who are doing it are talented people.
Yes.
And they have a passion for some of the same things you have a passion for. I've met so many different actors and producers, sound mixers, and they're all doing their community service hours at my church. Half of that, we built a theater at our church recently.
Yeah,
we're going to launch. So we're launching the American Cheese Community Theater, and that'll be at a Brand New Life Christian Center in Orange, California. We're launching 2023. We're putting on our first live show that Roman's going to be a part of in December. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have all kinds of entertainers from Orange County, Los Angeles, the Inland Empire.
That's right.
Coming out and sharing their gifts on our stage. And it's just going to be a blast. I mean, and stay updated too on American Cheese Studios on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be a part of it, reach out to me and let me know, because we're always looking for new talent. But we built a stage, we built lighting, we built a sound system, and everybody who came out to help us, most of the people were community service hours. The guy who headed the construction process on the stage was doing his community service hours. And he wanted to help build the stage.
Yeah.
And he did an amazing job.
That's so smart.
It's just so cool how God sends people at times where you really need them.
Yeah.
And that's how, I mean, it
goes both ways, because they needed you.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the guy said. He said, you don't know how much I needed this.
Wow.
And I said, you don't know how much I needed you, dude. and it's just so amazing what God can do in his timing. Because we were talking about building a theater, and the week we started talking about building a theater, this guy started his community service hours at our church.
Wow.
And said, I heard you're trying to build a stage. Can I help you with that? Yeah. I said, absolutely. We started building the stage that Sunday. Yeah. Now we're done. This was a 2-month process, Ramon.
Wow.
And now we're getting our first live show put together. And God's moving quick on it too, because when he gives you a vision and you start to move on it, I think especially in days like these, because I think things are happening at a faster pace now.
Yes.
And we could get into that. But I think you have to really jump on what God's telling you to do, and you got to do it quick, and you got to trust him, because once you start doing it, he's just going to move right with you.
Yeah.
So if you have a dream, if you have a vision out there and you're feeling like you need to get it started,
Jeez.
And call me. Maybe I can help you get it started.
Charlie can help you get it started.
And Roman, man.
Oh yeah, Heritage Park, man. We got you.
Just put American cheese in Heritage Park in the credits.
Yeah, yeah, you'll be straight. Josiah, I gotta tell you the ball story now.
Oh man, I got a funny story about balls too. When you're done,
love ball stories.
Oh, I know you do. Josiah, do you know a story I'm about to tell you? What I'm about to say? We talk about balls.
I mean, possibly.
Okay.
It could go many ways.
So you're more than welcome. For those of you who don't know, that's Josiah Hall in the engineering booth today. I'm gonna tell a story. We had a mutual friend, Josiah and I, was at a church service. This is the funny ball story.
Yeah.
And our mutual friend, you can fill in the holes because I'm gonna have holes. He he had some, I don't know if he had reproduction issues, but some woman was preaching and she was like an evangelist.
Yeah.
And she had a word of knowledge to this guy saying that he was going to, I remember it's coming to me that he was gonna have another kid.
Okay.
But he knew he wasn't gonna have another kid because his wife was infertile.
Okay.
Not him. He had 2 kids from another marriage.
Right.
But his wife was infertile. But she was giving him the word as if it was something wrong with him.
Right.
So she was preaching, she was praying for him and started praying over his. Do you remember this story, Josiah?
I remember pieces of it.
Okay.
But not
So
vividly.
this is in the middle of a church service. She's like prophesying and word of knowledge. And all of a sudden she was like, and I pray for this man's genitalia, and grabs his balls.
What?
And begins to pray healing on the man's balls.
No way.
Yes. And he didn't know what to do. So he stood there and it was a woman,
Pastor?
It was a woman minister.
Wow.
She was like a woman evangelist.
Okay.
Visiting this church. They were having like a revival.
Dang.
And he stood there and let her grab her balls. And his wife was right next to her because she was praying for both of them.
Right.
But then she grabs his balls.
Did they ever have kids?
No, she was the one infertile. She prayed for the wrong person.
So he had no problem with his balls at all.
No, he had kids.
That's wild.
She was the
man.
one.
That's so funny, dude. I want to write that in like a comedy sketch.
You
or something.
have
That sounds like
to.
something that would be on like the Righteous Gemstones or something.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yes, it was
dude.
right out there.
I have the story about balls. So, well, you got us on the topic. I was a freshman in high school, and my English teacher, God bless her, man, she's like my favorite person now. But she told us the assignment was you gotta make a parody of this poem, and it's Edgar Allan Poe's The Bells.
Okay.
And you got to make your own spoof parody on it.
Got it.
So me and this kid, and I feel bad for the kid because I kind of got him in trouble for doing it. But I made a parody, and instead of calling it The Bells, I called it The Balls. And so I was such a genius when I was a freshman in high school that I made the poem about basketballs, but
Nice.
everybody knew it wasn't about basketballs,
Right.
especially when I said the balls were all rubbed in lotion. That's when everybody said, oh, this isn't about basketballs anymore. And I was reading the poem up in front of my class, and it was getting worse and worse as I was reading it, but the class was cracking up and the teacher was fuming. So she comes up to me and tries to grab the poem out of my hand. I dodge her. She runs into the whiteboard, which makes the class crack up even more.
No.
I'm walking around the entire classroom just reading the poem so I could finish it. I get to the end of it. I'm done. She tells me to sit down. So I sit down, right? Everybody's giving me high fives and stuff. I feel like a king because I'm like, oh yeah, I just made this whole class crack up. And that's all you really want to do when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
And so then I went home and I got an email. My dad got an email from my teacher. And I actually wasn't at home. I was actually at church because my dad's a pastor. So he calls me into his office and he goes, Charlie, I got an email from your teacher. And I was like, dang it. And he was like, did you write a poem about balls? I was like, yeah. And he said, that's pretty funny, but you need to send her an email and apologize. So I sent her an email and I apologized to her. I show up at school the next day. The poem, somebody hung the poem up in the hallway.
No way.
Yeah, dude. So that was like legendary. And now
That's
me and the
awesome.
teacher, I just saw the teacher the other day because I did a show at my old high school. and I still bring it up to her. And she just tells me to shut up. But I love her. That's my ball story.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I think I still have the poem, man, but I'll send it to you later if you want to read it.
I definitely want to read it.
People still ask for it, man. That was like my claim to fame freshman year, dude. The balls
The
poem.
balls poem.
Yeah.
You're so talented. Now you're writing poems about balls.
I'm a poet, dude.
Yeah.
A poet and a lover. That's what they call me, dude. Poems about balls. Gotta love them. Gotta love them.
So what's dating life? What's the dating life like for someone who's as busy as you?
Dude, I went on this date recently. It was wild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really a date, I would say. It was more of like this girl asked me to like hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a little bit older than me. I'm not gonna say her name or anything like that, but I met her at a theater. I almost said the name of the theater, but I met her at a theater. And she was in the audience, and I introduced myself to her, and she was really cute, dude. A little bit like on the wild side, but I kind of like that sometimes. So I introduced myself to her, and she said, "Really nice to meet you," stuff. Well, I didn't get her information or anything because I was too busy like saying hi to everybody who was in the show after the show. Well, she found me on Facebook, dude. And a week later, she added me as a friend on Facebook. And I was like, whoa. So I slid into the DMs and I said, "You found me," with the little sunglasses emoji. And she said, "Yes, I did. Come meet me at this bar tonight. I'm going to be there. My aunt's in town. So some of my family's going to be there. But if you want to come hang out, like, let's hang out." So I went and we like played pool and like I bought her a drink and stuff. But she kept leaving to go to the bathroom. And my brother was a drug addict. So I know the signs, you know.
Oh.
She kept leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back. Every time she came back, she was a little bit more faded. And I was like, oh no, this girl's probably a druggie. Well, by the end of the night, she was like really wanting to get out of there with me. And I didn't want to do that. So she said, "I'm sorry, I'm on a lot of shrooms right now." And so I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like totally fine, you know, not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get going." But it was really nice to meet you. I said, "It was really nice to meet you and talk to you, but I gotta go. I got a busy day tomorrow. I actually have church in the morning." And she was like, "Oh no, that's totally fine. Oh, I'll text you." And I was like, "Yeah, totally." But I haven't really talked to her since. But that was like,
what the heck?
It's funny though, because like you go out because you're in these shows and you're in plays and you do theater and people know you from that. If you live in Orange County, you know, if you're local, like, she had just seen me in a show and that's why I think she was maybe interested in going out with me. But it's just really funny because you don't really know people until like you're there in the moment with them, you know. And I don't really think she knew where I came from, that I'm from the church, you know, or maybe she did because some people are into that, you know. They like to take a little innocent boy and groom him into something. Man, make him a rebel, you know. But that was kind of like the last. I don't think that was the last date I went on, but that's one that's kind of funny telling because it's like it was just kind of funny, you know. It was wild.
Do you find that a lot, that girls are always trying to like have you give you experiences that because you're a Christian kid?
Yes, especially at my church, man. Like we get a lot of people coming in who do their community service hours.
Oh.
And you know, sometimes they're pretty wild, man. That's my department. I'm the one who manages all of them.
Okay.
And I sign them off on their hours. And we get a lot of young girls that come in. Sometimes we get older girls too, man. And they like try to do stuff too, man. It's wild, man. It's a wild time. But obviously I keep my distance, but I still get them. Like they like message me on Instagram and like want to hang out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, it's nice getting to know you at church, but come see me preach this Monday night. And that's about it. But you do, I think as a pastor's kid, I think there's something, or even as a pastor, especially a young pastor, I'm only 24, you know, I think there's something that, I guess women see in that they want to take and like do something with. But you got to be really careful out there, boys. So what's happening to everybody?
Tell us, let me know what I've never asked you. What is like the girl? What's the dream girl like?
Oh man, I'm really into blondes.
Yeah.
I mean, I love white blondes are like my thing usually. Every girl I've ever dated is like a white blonde. I've only really had one serious girlfriend. But like I would say that, and Kyle, and you know, I have this conversation with Kyle all the time, and he's always like, "Wow, Charlie, you're so like, you're so shallow," and maybe I am shallow, and that's okay. But I really like I'm all about immediate attraction. You know, if I see like somebody that I really like and that I think is attractive, I'll go talk to them right away, and I you know, I'll introduce myself to them and stuff like that. And if they're not that great of a person, or if they're not what I'm looking for, then I'll be friends with them, but that's about it, you know. But I would say like the type of girl I'm looking for, of course, every Christian wants to say godly, conservative, it doesn't matter about the looks, but I think that I think for me at least, I feel like looks matter a lot. I know that's a shallow thing to say, man. I got in trouble in high school for saying it too. They asked me in high school, Charlie, what's the dream girl? I said 75% looks and 25% personality.
What?
Yeah.
But it's weird. Do you think, because a lot of people will say that, but then they break up with people because personality is bad.
Well, yeah. And that's true. So I guess I've learned from that too, and not that like everybody I've dated they don't have a bad personality or anything like that. But a lot of the times, like, relationships have ended because of like views. And I think that's really important. Like, on a serious note, I mean, I think initial attraction is important because you got to look at that person every day and you got to wake up next to them and you got to go to sleep with them and stuff like that. So I feel like, in my opinion, you might disagree, but I think initial attraction is really important.
I think it's very important.
I think it is too. But I think that also looks don't last forever. And you want somebody who's on the same page as you as far as beliefs goes, as far as, you want a good Christian person if you're a Christian yourself, because that's where a lot of my relationships have failed. Is that like, yeah, initial attraction, great. Physical attraction, amazing. But as far as views go and as far as beliefs go, different pages. And that's where things have ended, like for me at least. And that's where things have been rough for me. So I guess dream girl, you would say, blonde, good looking, but also somebody who's on the same page as me as far as beliefs, which is not hard to find these days, really. You would think it would be. Maybe in the entertainment business, it's hard to find, but I've even found a lot of girls in the entertainment business who are young, Christian, and conservative. You know what I mean? We got comments?
Yeah, my man, Kevin Davis said, I just realized being married means I'll never have another girlfriend. Lightweight sad. Yes, it is.
Yeah, dude, I will say this. I do like being single because I can talk to like a lot of girls, I can go out with them and have dates and stuff without having to worry about being married. I know. And that's okay, man. And there's a few girls that I'm talking to right now that are all really cool and stuff. But I don't know, man. It's hard. I'm a really busy guy too. So it's hard to like the other day I was going to ask a girl out and I was like, wait a minute, when am I going to be able to go out with them?
Yeah.
I have so much, I'm in a show right now. I just finished a show. I'm filming this week and I'm going out of town the next week. And I was going to go out with this girl a couple of weeks ago. And I said, hey, are you free this weekend? She said, I can't this weekend, but can we go next weekend? And I said, I can't next weekend because I have a show. And that was literally the only weekend I was free until like after the new year. Oh, so I don't know, like when that's the other thing is that like I want to get married, Kevin. Is that like I actually do really want a wife, I actually prayed for that not that long ago because I feel like I'm 24 now and I think it'd be cool to like get married to somebody and start having kids and stuff like that. I don't think you should ever wait too long to start doing that because I really think that's a good thing. And I don't think it stops your career or anything like that. A lot of people say, oh, if you're trying to be an actor, don't have kids because it'll end your career. I don't think that really happens. I think that if you're doing what God told you to do, you could do that and raise a family at the same time. So I wouldn't ever let that stop anybody from doing from starting a family. But I want that right now, but it's also like I'm really busy, so I wouldn't have like time, I think, to put all that energy and effort into like a relationship because when I have a girlfriend, man, like it's all like I go all in, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm all about, I love having a girlfriend, because I have somebody I could go on dates with, go to the movies with, make out with, like all of the above, and it's just like it's hard, I guess, doing that right now, though, when you have such a busy schedule, because so much of your time goes into that girl. Yeah. And I feel like it's all got to be in God's timing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I just love having like a designated cute person to just hang out with, but unfortunately it's just not, I don't think I have all of the time to do that right now. But if something came and it was like, I was ready to get serious about it, maybe I would put more time into it. You know what I mean? But right now I'm just having a good time.
That's cool. Kevin responded and said, I for sure love being married, was just making a joke, but thanks for saying it out loud. Now she's barking at me.
That's a good job. Hey, Kevin. Hey, that was a nice save, brother.
Yeah, good save. Good
And,
save, Kevin.
and Mrs. Davis, he means that with all of his heart. I promise.
Yeah,
you.
Rochelle, he means that.
I don't think I've ever met Kevin, but
I don't think you have either.
I've heard great things. Great guy. You're a lucky lady, and he's a lucky man.
He's a lucky man.
Yeah,
he married up for sure. So I'm amused. This conversation was never supposed to go into your dating life.
No, I like it though. Let's be open and honest,
right.
man.
So I do want to know.
All right.
I've always wondered.
Okay.
What kind of game does Charlie Battaglia have?
Okay. Like what do you mean by that?
When it comes to women?
Ask if you ask anybody, and I don't want to brag or anything like that, but I have great game.
Okay.
When it comes to women. Especially more recently. I think it has something to do with like turning 24.
Okay.
Because when I was 23, I would take risks and I would go up and talk to girls. But dude, now that I'm 24, I don't know what it is. I don't know if something clicks in you or you like it's like something like animalistic that like comes up being like, all right, I'm getting to my mid-20s now. I got to start looking for the one. But now I don't really I don't get nervous. I don't get so nervous anymore to like cold approach girls, or to talk to them or flirt with them or to tell them what I think or to ask them out, because I'm not a kid anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't have time to be like, oh, I want to ask this girl out, but I don't know what she'll think about it. And I don't think that anymore. Like if I want to ask a girl out, I'll just straight up ask her out. And I've only been this way for the last few months, dude. Yeah. Like, I don't know what, because before I would overthink it and I would get bummed if a girl didn't want to go out. It would sit on the back burner. I get depressed. I listen to sad music to make myself feel better. But now I'm just like, you know what? If I have that initial attraction to a girl, I will let her know immediately. Yeah. Kyle just called me the fastest man in town yesterday. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
But you can ask him.
I will say that, you and I have had conversations just between us, and you're like, oh man, I like this girl. She's really cool. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm thinking he'll probably just play it cool for like months. And you're like, no, I asked her out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I do that pretty quickly.
Yes.
And so sometimes, it's been working out pretty good, but like I said, I'll do it and then I won't have I don't know. What was your question? The game thing?
Yeah.
Like, what's your, I would say it's pretty it's pretty on point.
What's your best pickup line? That's Kevin asked that.
I always just ask, what's your name?
Yeah, just be nice.
If I don't know her name, I'll just if you have to I think that's the best pickup line. Yeah. You can't be saying weird stuff. I'll say I'll just kind of go at the moment, introduce myself, just start talking. What do you do? It's all about eye contact. I think it's less about pickup lines and more about that eye contact. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the looking the up and down, and the little smirk that you give.
You have a sense of humor that's very natural.
Right.
And it's hilarious because sometimes I don't know that you realize how funny you actually are.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not, there's people who are just befuddled. They don't realize they're funny. You're funny.
Yeah.
But there's times where you're funny so well,
right?
But it's so smart. And then there's moments where you're funny and you weren't trying to be funny.
Oh, thanks.
And you're trying to be real and authentic, but
was that just now?
Off. Huh?
Was that just now?
No, this is in general.
This is just in general.
Yeah,
okay,
because when we did the last project, sorry about the dolls.
Right.
You said something that made me crack up, but nobody else. I can't think of it at the top of my head.
Was it a pickup line?
It was around there. It was around that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's my other thing with filming those movies too. Is I get I was telling Kyle this the other day. I was like, Kyle, because I feel like that shoot was wild because there was one of the girls who was in that shoot was really hot. Yeah. And I get distracted easily when there's hot chicks around, and I don't want to work. I just want to talk to them. Yeah. And that was my shoot. And so I was supposed to be directing, but Kyle did it. That's why I like having Kyle, because Kyle really takes over when he sees that I'm distracted.
He's extremely focused.
And so after that shoot, I was like, man, I feel like I said some wild stuff. And I feel like I wasn't focused because I was too busy. I think you got to be careful about that when you're working in the industry, because especially as a producer or a director, because you got work that needs to be done. You can't just be fooling around, Yeah. But I still had a good time.
It was a great time. I love working with American cheese.
Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Why, Ro? You don't have to answer.
Okay. Well, no, it's you make it. It's a light set.
Right.
It's very comfortable. I I will say this. I'm just going to be really honest with you.
Be honest with me.
So
We're getting honest tonight,
yes,
folks.
on the last one we did,
Okay.
I felt like I didn't do my best work.
I thought you were great, man.
I didn't feel like I did my best.
Bro, you're Santa Claus. You've been playing that role for a year.
For a year. Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
I've been playing for a year, and I left set that day going, I didn't do a good job.
No.
And I really seriously thought I'm screwing up their projects and everything.
Bro, no.
But when I saw it though, when I saw the film, I was like, oh, that's
you didn't do so bad.
Didn't do bad.
You know what? You know why? Because you film so many takes.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're seen as like the whole movie, but really you're off and on.
Yeah.
You're on and off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you were fantastic. Me and Kyle were watching, like, our favorite thing to do is just to watch all the footage from the day.
Yeah.
And we were cracking up at everything you were doing. I won't even say it. I'll tell you afterwards, unless you want me to say it.
No, wait.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which one.
There's just this.
Is it the one we were walking away?
No, there was this one where you were like, there's this take. Okay, I'll just say it. So there's this take where you kept saying, girls, all right, guys, you can't be going to random girls' shindigs no matter how hot they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept looking at one of the girls.
I did that on purpose. I kept looking at
you weren't looking at because they were both really hot, but you kept looking at like one of them. And I think she knew you kept looking at her. So like the take that we used, you could tell she's laughing in it because you kept saying no matter how hot they are. You would look right at her. I was like, watch him on every take. After he says no matter how hot they are, he looks at the one girl.
I tried not to be robotic, but I kept looking because she was the closest one to me.
Yeah.
And she would give me this response. So that's why
she's a great actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she had a lot of good energy coming from her.
But
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it felt creeperish though.
No, you weren't. There was one take where you were a little creeperish. Yeah.
How hot they are.
There was this one take where you're like, you took a beat in between because I think you were just trying to think of the line.
Yeah.
And you were like, no matter how hot they are. No. And you do this roar and it looks like you're about to do something gnarly, dude. And I gotta show it to you. I filmed it because I thought it was so funny. And I was like showing it. I was like, Kyle, watch Roman, dude. It looks like he's about to like kill like the dude. He looks like he's gonna kill everybody in the scene. But it was so I just love working with you, dude. Yeah. I love you were fantastic. And I can't wait to film with you this weekend, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fantastic, dude.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
It's always fun working with you, man.
It's always fun working with you, man.
Hey, thanks, dude.
I love working with you.
Yeah, I love doing the American Cheese stuff. I like doing Heritage Park stuff. You know why? Because we're all doing our own thing, man. And that's what you have to do in these days, especially to stay calm and to stay sane, to stay like motivated, you know, and to stay happy. You got to be doing your own thing. I tell every actor out there, start your own production company, you know, start making your own films and stop waiting for people to give you your shot because you're good and you're talented and you should be doing it yourself and getting yourself out there. And I think the best way to get yourself out there is by writing your own scripts and filming your own material and putting yourself in that material because you're going to have fun. You don't have anybody telling you what to do. And guess what? You can make it, man. I mean, American Cheese is really starting to blow up on Instagram. We started it less than a year ago. Yeah. And our reels are getting thousands and thousands of likes and views. And it's so cool what God has been able to do through American Cheese. Because they're all inspirational, fun, family-friendly videos. You know, none of them are inappropriate. They're for all ages. Anybody could watch them. And I really think that's what the world needs is just some fresh, nice, funny, clean stuff to watch so that they can enjoy themselves and not feel like they're being preached to, you know, through whatever kind of agenda Hollywood has.
Yeah. Even Christian films to an extent have a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's why we don't like. I don't say like we don't make Christian movies. You know, we make fun, family-friendly movies because Christian movies have a bad rap nowadays because none of them are. They're either too preachy or they're cheesy and they come off as cheesy. Nobody wants to watch them. You know, so you got to make just clean, fun, family-friendly things that everybody could watch. And I think that's what American Cheese is. You know, I think that's what we've been doing and what we've been striving to do because people of all ages watch our stuff and like our stuff from little kids, 5 years old to, you know, older people. I've been really having a good time. And that's why I'm really excited to open this theater because what we're going to do is we're going to be showcasing our films in front of a live audience and then have a live event that surrounds that movie. So we'll show the movie. We'll have skits with the same characters from the movie in the skits. And the people who are in the movie will be able to do monologues, sing songs, play instruments if they want. And it'll give people who are a part of American Cheese to really showcase their talents in front of a live audience. And I think it'll help grow the channel more.
I agree. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great, man.
It's going to be great. I'm excited.
It's good to have you on board, dude.
I'm excited to be on board. I'm so thankful.
We have a lot of good projects coming up, bro.
We do.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And we're doing it all ourselves, man. It keeps us busy.
It keeps us busy.
We don't have to depend on anybody else.
Nope. And we're working on a new show.
Yeah, man.
Superficially Deep. We're still doing Superficially Deep.
Of course.
But we're working on a new show. You're directing the pilot.
Yeah, man. Have you made an announcement yet?
No, not here.
Well, come on. Let this
So
be
we're
it.
working on a new pilot. Heritage Park has got a new pilot that we're working on called High Spirits.
Right.
It's I don't know how to explain it. It's another dramedy.
Yeah.
But this one is a little bit more controversial.
Yeah.
But I love the concept of it.
Yeah, man.
And you're directing the pilot.
I love it. I'm so excited. And I love the idea because it's so like it's not your average Christian. No. I wouldn't even call it a Christian series. You know, it's a real series.
It's
about real people who go through real things.
Yes.
And it's gonna be good, man.
Yeah. I'm actually acting in it too.
You're acting in it too, man.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm stoked. I'm excited to direct you, man. Get ready.
I'm excited to be directed by you.
Oh, thanks. I don't think I've directed you, of course, because you're an American cheese. Yeah, but that stuff's fun.
Yeah.
This is serious stuff, bro.
Dude.
We're gonna get started on that soon.
Yes. We're still trying to cast a couple more roles.
Yeah, so if you're an actor out there and you're an actress out there, hit us up.
Send your stuff, man. Heritage Park PROD, or just follow us on one of the streaming platforms that you're seeing us on.
That's it.
Yeah. Hey, who does your reels? Do you cut them up yourself?
Yeah.
Man.
Do I do pretty good?
Yeah.
I know. Excellent. I figured out how to do that in Final Cut Pro to make it format it right for Instagram and everything, because I figured out that Reels and YouTube Shorts, if you put your stuff out there on a consistent basis, they will blow up, especially if it's good content and it looks good and you have the subtitles there and you take the best. Because what we do is our short films are long. Our short films are about 10 to 15 minutes usually, and people don't usually want to sit down and watch a full short film. Some people do, which is great.
Yes.
But I'll take the best bits from those short films, put them into like a 1-minute reel and upload them to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and they blow up on there, dude. One of them's has been blowing up during this conversation.
Wow.
So I mean, they have, and I uploaded it like 2 weeks ago. So sometimes they'll hit at random times.
Yeah.
But I think our most viewed one is the furry one. We made a short film called The Furry Who Came to Dinner. It's blown up to 20,000 views on Instagram.
I still can't believe how many people are into furries.
It's so fun. It's so fun, man. You look at the comments and they're insane, dude.
I can't believe that this is a thing.
Yeah.
That to the point where it's, that one
Yeah.
has been your most popular one.
Oh, I love it, man. It's been our most successful one by far.
Wow.
That one and the Hot Mormon Girl when she comes at midnight are like two of our top ones. And then even the one we just released now, Sorry About the Dolls, we put a reel out, and that one's got like 500 likes on Instagram,
wow,
which isn't bad. Like for a channel that's just starting out, dude. Like we guys got to keep being consistent with it. You know, I'm gonna put out I hope you're ready, because I'm putting out, because now that it's Christmas, I can put some of our old stuff out. And I made a reel. I'll show you after this. It's from Cancel the Claus.
Oh,
and it's called Santa versus the Paparazzi.
That's
so
awesome.
Roman, you're gonna go viral in like the next couple of days.
I'm down, dude.
I hope you're ready, dude.
It's about time.
I hope you're ready, man. Because a lot of people want to go viral, then they go viral and they get embarrassed. But don't be that guy, man.
I'm not gonna
Don't let me down, bro.
I won't.
You better share it, dude. Share it on all your stories.
I will. Oh,
you know what the worst thing is ever? Do I have time to say something?
You do.
Okay. You know what the worst thing is ever?
What?
And I'm sure you've experienced this.
Yes.
When you film something and you put, a lot of hard work into it, you put a lot of money into it, and you hire the actors to be in it.
Yeah.
And then the actors who are in the project don't share the project.
Why do they not do that?
I don't know why they don't do that. And I used to be like that too, but now I just share everything that I'm in, because I feel like it's good to let everybody out there know what you're doing and that you're doing things, because it gets people like, oh, this, especially agents, they want to see that you're doing things. So no matter what you're doing, if you're an actor out there, don't be ashamed to share what you've acted in, what you've created, what you've been a part of, because people like to see that you're doing things. And I think a lot of it is an ego thing. I think a lot of people don't want to share things because they're afraid of what people might think about the way they look, or the way they acted in a project, or the way that the project was edited or written. don't care about that kind of stuff. Put it out there because agencies and people and managers, they want to see, and other friends too, they like to see that you're doing things. So share the work that you're a part of because that's what's going to help it grow. You'll never grow if you're not proud of what the art that you create and proud of what you do. And the same thing goes with artists and musicians who are afraid to post their singing gigs on Instagram, who are afraid to cover a song on Instagram. You're never going to grow if you don't show. You got to show. You got to show what you're working on. You got to show what you're in, and you got to share what you're a part of, because you always wonder, why doesn't this have more views? Why isn't this going viral? Because you're not freaking sharing it. You know?
You got to consistently share.
You have to consistently share. You can't let the burden fall all on one person. No. Now, we were pretty lucky because a lot of our reels are just hitting because people are liking what they see. But it always makes, the producer, the creators of the show, it makes them feel good. And it really will help you by sharing the things that you're a part of. I don't know why these people don't share the things they're a part of, man. Because if I'm an actor, I want to share everything that I'm doing. But some people are just scared to share it. Don't be scared to share it, because you never know what it might do and who might see it. And it could take you to the next level.
That's dope.
Yeah. Anyways.
Awesome. American Cheese, ladies and gentlemen. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube. Are you on Facebook too?
American Facebook, Cheese? Yeah.
American
TikTok.
Cheese. TikTok.
Yeah.
They're killing it, man. It's growing fast.
You're killing it, bro.
Dude, I'm just keeping up with you guys.
Hey, man.
Thanks,
dude. Let's do it, bro. We're going to keep going.
Yeah, man.
We're going to keep living. We're going to keep creating.
Yes, we are.
That's it.
I love it. So don't forget, man, if you're on this, follow us on Heritage Park and American Cheese. Black Friday sale. I'll have more information next week. We have a new Black Friday sale coming up, so you can get your Heritage Park gear. And thanks again, Charlie, for coming.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me, dude. Yeah, I want to be on it again. Every time we come on here, man, it's so much fun.
Dude, I talked to Josiah today. You and Josiah, I think, are tied for the most appearances on Epic Thoughts Outside.
Yes, me and Josiah, man. Yeah. I'm stoked.
We're both
dude.
at 4 right now.
Yes, look at us. We should be on one together.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Dude.
That'd be great. We can set that up. We'll set that up. I got a new engineer now, so I can do more often.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yeah, that's Josiah was just filling in for him today.
I love you, Josiah.
Yeah, we love you too. Oh yeah, I love you too.
Love you too.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in on Heritage Park, and also on HBTV. You're on TV.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, on HBTV. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great week. God bless.